Thanks for joining us for City Council Comments. I'm Steve Erickson along with Councilmember Pat Carlson. Today we're talking about both the July 5th and our July 19th City Council meetings. Thanks for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, Steve.
We appreciate having you, and we're coming off here a couple weeks after our 4th of July celebration. It was a 3-day celebration again this year, the first time since the pandemic, and things sound like they went very well.
Oh, it was great.
And you were down there every day, it sounded like.
Yeah, it was wonderful. There were so many great things going on. The parade was fantastic. It was so much fun, and there were so many great events and great music, and just, I love just seeing all those people out there having a good time, hanging out together.
Yeah, and there was something new this year. The Coon High School all-class reunion took place on the Sunday night.
Yes.
And tell us about that event. I know you were there.
It was very, very successful. There was like 250 some people that registered. And so a lot more just kind of showed up.
Yeah.
So like in my class of 80, and my wife's class was class of 82. There weren't very many people in our classes, maybe 5, 6 each, but we hung out with people from the other graduating classes and had just a really good time.
Yeah.
It's very successful. For a first year, it's very successful.
Yeah, and this is the first year. They're hoping this grows, and obviously you got to start somewhere. So
I think it will grow exponentially. I think it'll be just super.
Yeah, once people catches on and more people hear about it, and it sounded like they had street signs with the different class years in different corners.
It was so nice. It'd be by fives, right?
Yeah.
Like class of 76 to class of 80, and it was fantastic.
All right, but you did not stay by your sign the whole night.
Nope. We saw there weren't that many people, so we kind of moved on, and we hung out with grads that were older than us, older brothers and sisters of people we graduated with. We hung out with some of the younger class members. It was a lot of fun.
All right, sounds like a lot of fun, and it sounds like they'll bring it back next year. So if you didn't get there this year, check it out next year.
Absolutely.
And of course, we had the fireworks on the 4th. Great show as always.
Yep, fantastic.
All right. Well, moving into things now that we're getting toward the latter half of July here. Moving forward, and we're going to talk about our July 19th City Council meeting. One of the first items there we want to talk about is the council awarding a contract. This is for roof replacements on both the East Water and West Water treatment plants.
Yes. So the low bid was McPhillips Brothers for $784,930, and then there was an amendment to add an extra $30,000 to the budget for that. So the total budget on it is $830,000. And again, as the city does with pretty much all contracts, to go with the low bid, and McPhillips Brothers came in with a decent bid.
All right. Not too exciting of an item, but we do need to maintain the buildings around the city.
Absolutely. I mean, infrastructure is so important, right?
Yeah.
Just like we need to keep up our roofs at home, we need to keep up our roofs in all of our city buildings.
Yeah. All right. So construction should be underway soon, and I know they plan to have that done by the end of the year. Another item here, council adopted a resolution awarding the sale of just over $20 million in general obligation bonds. Not too sexy of a topic, I want to say, but I think the interesting point here is this reaffirmed our very high credit rating.
Absolutely. So we're given a double A1 credit rating, which is the second highest possible rating you can have.
Yeah.
And it puts us in the 85th percentile for municipalities and districts in the country, and it keeps our rates nice and low.
Yep.
So we end up with a pretty darn decent rate. 3.1% was the lowest rate, and just allows us to, again, like anyone else, when we take out a loan, we want to get the lowest rate possible.
Yep.
It's a pretty big bond. It ended up. They ended up resizing the bond to $20 million and $130,000, and we want to get the lowest rate possible.
Yeah, and this basically is for street reconstruction projects, and a big item this year is the bonding for the new fire station.
Yes, the fire station is certainly the largest item. About half of that is for the fire station, and that was a 20-year bond. Whereas the other ones were a little smaller.
Okay.
But it's really infrastructure. Our streets, and as part of our streets, of course, fire hydrant replacements, the things having to do with water infrastructure, but as part of our street projects.
Yeah, and you don't want to have to borrow if you don't have to, but for some of these projects you do have to, and that was part of the credit rating as well, was the low level of debt that the city had, along with the trying to think of what the other point was.
Yeah, well,
the high level of reserves.
Yes,
correct?
yep.
Yeah.
We had a high level of reserves and a very manageable debt, and it was very impressive. Gave us a decent rating.
All right, good. And as we know, interest rates are going up, so good to get locked in now. All right, council adopted a resolution approving a labor agreement with the Police Sergeants Union. We just did one of these for the police officers back in early May.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was a 3% cost of living adjustment, and then that 85-cent an hour market adjustment.
Yeah.
When looking at our police officers' wages, it was determined that we're a little bit lower than comparable departments, and so the decision was made to raise it up a little bit. As a lot of people know, many agencies are having a hard time recruiting candidates, and so we want to be as competitive as possible, and at least in the same wheelhouse as the other comparable agencies. And so with the sergeants, it's kind of a Me Too thing, right? It's 22% over top patrol. So if we approve a 3% cost of living for the officers, and with that 85-cent an hour market adjustment, then we do the same thing for the sergeants.
Okay, and this is for this year as well as 2023?
Yes, through December of 2023.
Okay, and do you know how recruiting is going? I mean, I know we've hired new officers, and it's difficult, but it seems like we are still getting people.
Yes, I think just from what I hear, it sounds like it's going pretty well compared to other agencies.
Yeah.
We're doing well. Our police department has a fantastic reputation.
Yeah.
And so even though our police department is not caught up yet, when you compare it to other agencies, they're doing pretty darn well.
That is good to hear, and things like this will hopefully keep that going.
Yes.
All right. Well, that was a very short meeting.
Yes, it was.
Both of these meetings were less than a half an hour, so that's all we have to talk about from our most recent meeting. Back to our Tuesday, July 5th meeting, right after the 4th of July. We had something exciting here.
Yes.
We had the swearing in of our new police chief.
Yes. Chief Wise was a reserve officer.
Yes.
And went all the way through all the ranks to chief. John Stanky was a community service officer, went through all the ranks to chief. I think that's just a fabulous story. Yeah. It shows the longevity of our police department. Yeah. It shows that typically when someone comes to the Coon Rapids Police Department, they stay.
Yeah.
And I think that what a better way to have a chief representing a department, where that chief has done pretty much been there, done that, done everything all the way up through the ranks.
Yeah.
And it's a great addition.
Yeah, and it shows a culture from promoting within. You do well, you're rewarded,
Absolutely.
with the job. So you mentioned there, Brad Wise, the former police chief, retired at the end of June, and now John Stanky, who was a captain, is the new police chief as of July. And the mayor administered the oath of office to him, and his wife pinned on his new badge.
Yeah, very exciting. And John did well with everything he did.
Yeah.
He was a great community service officer.
Yeah.
He was a great patrol officer, great detective, great sergeant.
Yeah.
Great job as captain.
Yes, and I imagine he'll continue to do great things in leading the department.
Sure he will.
All right. While we're on the topic of police, we also had a public hearing regarding a grant application for the U.S. Department of Justice. This is for a grant or some money that the police department is going to be receiving.
Yes. So the police department qualified for this grant, and it's a $24,000 grant. And I was just looking at some of the things that it'll help provide. Protective vests with plate carriers for civil unrest. So our officers are better protected if we have some incident with a lot of civil unrest, and our officers are kind of on that front line.
Yeah.
Also, some training helmets for the simunition firearms, for our officers' firearms and active shooter training. Again, good protective equipment for our officers as they're training. And we spoke about this a little bit earlier, but the handgun clearing chamber in our training center. Now, it's very important. This training goes on at different times. It has to be available to officers at different times, and so some officers will come to training who are on duty. Well, this clearing chamber will give officers a safe place to empty their firearms before they come into the training room, and that's just a great safety measure to have.
Safety is paramount.
Yes, and then of course these PET scanners, and that's wonderful for so many people have these chips now, in their animals, and so now we'll have a PET scanner available for probably our community service officers to use to hopefully quickly identify animals that are picked up.
All right. Seems like we get one of these grants usually annually, so it's great to be receiving this money. This is money that doesn't have to be put on the regular tax rolls.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. And we did have an item we wanted to talk about relating to a donation. This was for a park bench, and this is actually the second donation made by this family.
Yes. The Thistle family, Bob Thistle, who was a city manager from 1979 to 1987. He was on the Civil Service Commission, and he was also a Rotarian. Bob was great for Coon Rapids. I actually had the honor of working for him as city manager for 1 year. Great for Coon Rapids, a great Coon Rapids resident, a great Coon Rapids volunteer. And so yes, his family donated money for a park bench for the Crooked Lake Park. And we had another bench in Lyons, Coon Creek Park in January, I think that was voted on. And great way to honor a great man.
Yeah, so this is great. If people don't know they have this opportunity, I know several people have done this, donating money to put in these park benches in honor of a loved one.
Yeah, and this money is donated by the family members.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a very fitting to honor Bob.
All right. Council adopted a resolution awarding contracts for the Public Works HVAC modifications. This is actually at the Public Works building, so we got a little more maintenance going on here with our infrastructure.
Right, infrastructure. Right, we have to keep things working, don't we?
Right.
And this was kind of interesting. So this the bid that was accepted was $279,540, and the city had rejected a bid a couple of months ago, and that bid was the low bid at $507,000. So the rebidding, brought about a real significant savings in bids. And as I mentioned earlier, when we go with low bid, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And boy, this was a lot lower than that first bid. So it was real nice.
Yeah, that's crazy, but again, good to be able to save some money there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Council approved the appointment of election judges and salaries as well. We got the primary election coming up here just 2 weeks away now, and obviously we need election judges to do that election.
Yep. Yeah. So the list was shown to the council, and part of this was to approve that list. And we appointed the clerk. The clerk is appointed to make substitutions if necessary, and the salary of the different judges, different levels depending on their responsibilities, and also a date was set to canvass the election returns, date of August 12th at 7:30, and that's just to ensure that all the everything's accurate.
Yes, and you got to kind of certify the numbers and forward them along. So I don't know if they're still looking for election judges. They have been, but even if they don't need them for the primary, they may need more for the general election coming up in November. So contact the city clerk's office if you're interested. I know they were also looking for student judges, which is a great opportunity for students to get involved in this process.
Absolutely. Joan Lensmeyer would be the person to call at the City Hall.
All right. So again, primary election is coming up Tuesday, August 9th. Polls are open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you can't get there, you can vote absentee before. There is in-person absentee going on at City Hall right now. And then about a week before the election is when you can actually put your ballot directly into a machine if you want, if you prefer to do that rather than the envelope system.
It's all laid out on the city website. And
All right. That is all we have from our less than a half an hour meeting on the first meeting of the month. We want to talk about now, we got another exciting event coming up here, Night to Unite, which comes up on Tuesday, August 2nd. I know this is something that's probably near and dear to your heart. You used to visit those parties.
Yep, love those. What a great opportunity, if, at a minimum, just for neighbors to all get together and get to know each other a little bit. And it's shown so clearly that the better we know our neighbors, the more likely we are to call if we see something out of line. And some people are quieter than others, right? And it doesn't mean we have to be in each other's business, but just to get to know each other a little bit, and it just creates just a greater sense of community. And so if someone is hosting a party, if they're registered, then that will prompt a visit from the police department, fire department, and great time to get a chance to hear, what the police department has to say about, what has been going on in your neighborhood, and ask questions about what is going on. It seems like, crime is certainly a big concern for a lot of people, and it's good to get some straight answers from your police department.
Yeah, what better opportunity? They show up right at your
They're right
party.
there.
You can ask questions and interact, and I know the kids have a lot of fun too.
Oh gosh, yeah.
There was one we were following last year, and this little kid kind of had a squirt gun and was trying to shoot the officer. So I don't know that I recommend that, but it made for some fun video.
A few laughs on that.
Yeah.
It was hard because I participated in it, from the beginning with the police department. I just loved it. It was hard though when you're there and you roll up in that police car and oh great, but then you look at that big old fire truck and man, everybody loves a fire truck.
I was actually thinking, doesn't everybody try to feed you as well?
People
So then
people
you
are so
eat
gracious.
like 15
gosh.
times?
Yeah.
This could be a problem.
You gain about 20 pounds that night, and people are so gracious, and it's just such a nice time just to get together. And again, the building that sense of community is so important.
Yeah. All right. Well, so Police and Fire will be out on Night to Unite, which is coming up Tuesday, August 2nd. Again, parties usually go from around 5 to 8. I imagine there's some that linger later than that. But organize a block party or just a little gathering.
Yeah. If you don't want to register and doing something official, or or if maybe you didn't make the deadline for that, just hang out with your neighbors.
Yeah.
And just use that as a good night just to hang out with your neighbors a little bit. Maybe something a little bit more informal.
Yeah, like I said, it's getting to know who's there, who belongs in your neighborhood, maybe who doesn't. So if there are issues, you need to call.
Absolutely.
All right. And then our summer concert series, we still have a couple concerts coming up here. It looks like we got about 3 left on the schedule out of 9.
Yeah, I know the next one is the Chmielewski Fun Time Band.
Yes.
And led by Florian Chmielewski, who's been playing since 1945. So this is polka music.
This is crazy.
It's just a great show. A lot of fun. And so Florian's been doing this since 1945. He's been doing it a long time.
Wow.
And it's just great. It's
quite the career.
And you come and the parking fee is waived at the regional park. And bring a blanket, bring a lawn chair. There's concessions with the Boy Scouts and with the Lions Club. But I will warn you that the food goes quick. It goes quickly. So, either you can get there a little bit early for your concessions with them or bring your own, but it's a real nice time.
All right. So that one is coming up July 28th.
Yes.
Then on August 4th, it's Ecuador Manta, which is Latin fusion music. And then it wraps up on August 11th with the Revolution 5, which is a Beatles tribute band. These concerts began at 7, and I understand there's going to be an ice cream truck there on August 11th. So look for more details about that. Sounds like Fox 9 is bringing their ice. They're going to different social events this summer, and I believe it's the August 11th, the final concert.
They're bringing ice cream.
Don't quote me, but there's so much. It's free.
They're bringing ice cream. Would love to have them.
There's so many available, so much available. When it's gone, it's gone. But so you want to get out there early that night. That one is on Thursday, August 11th. All right. Good. Anything else you got for me before we go?
Nothing from me, sir.
This is your platform. We got let's see, 15 minutes left if you want to keep talking.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that to people.
All right, Pat. Well, we appreciate you coming in today.
Well, thanks for having me. This is great.
Chatting to us about our 2 short meetings in July. Thank you at home for watching, and we'll see you back here again after hopefully our little longer meetings in August, and then we'll have more for you then.
Did you know properties are required to have garbage and recycling service with a licensed hauler? On Collection Day, place your carts 2 feet behind the curb. Collection containers should not be placed in the street. And don't forget, containers are not allowed at the curb on non-collection days. For more information on this and other city codes, log on to coonrapidsmn.gov.
Welcome to the Coon Rapids Civic Center. We are conveniently located off of Highway 10 and Hanson Boulevard with plenty of on-site parking for you and your guests. You and your guests will enter the Civic Center through the main doors located at the south end of the City Center building. Come on in. Our banquet and meeting rooms are conveniently located just a few short steps down the hallway, along with our restrooms. The banquet room consists of 3 separate rooms that open up to one another. When both walls are open, the room can seat up to 230 guests comfortably. Civic rooms A and B each seat 80 guests, and when the wall is open, 160 guests can be comfortably seated. Both Civic rooms A and B have direct access to the rear courtyard with tables and seating for your guests, lawn space for games and gatherings, and the gazebo where we host many weddings throughout the year. Yes, we've even hosted a December wedding. Civic room C is used as a meeting room during the week and as a party room over the weekend. As a meeting room, Civic room C seats 45 attendees at classroom-style tables. As a party room, Civic room C seats 60 guests at round tables. Plus, there is room for tables for food, beverages, gifts, and displays. Beyond the patio area outside of Civic rooms A and B is a gazebo with a beautiful lawn area with room enough to seat 230 of your closest friends. You are welcome to decorate with floral sprays, tulle, and twinkle lights. White wedding chairs are available for rent. Our commercial kitchen is available to everyone with an event that day. You are welcome to use the large refrigerator, the microwave oven, and the ice maker. To keep your food warm, we encourage you to bring roasting pans or crock pots, or even chafing dishes. In addition to the banquet room, the Civic Center also features 3 meeting rooms. The Arts and Crafts room is perfect for scout meetings or birthday parties, with its large tables, counter space, and sink with running water. The conference room features a large table with seating for 14, plus additional seating along the wall. We hope you visit the Coon Rapids Civic Center soon and consider us for your next gathering.
Did you know major recreational equipment like RVs, campers, converted buses, and boats are allowed on residential property in Coon Rapids? But you are limited to 2 items that must be registered and operable. And any vehicle parked at a home for more than 12 hours must not exceed a certain size. For more information on this and other city codes, log on to coonrapidsmn.gov.